Welcome to the Michigan Football Report Rumors Roundup, folks. It's February 15th. It's a Thursday. Tons of news broke overnight. Chat Sports was the first one to bring it to you. Is there a new offensive coordinator at the University of Michigan, folks? It is FACK. We were the first ones to announce this yesterday. Jim McElwain will be named the Michigan's offensive coordinator and wide receiver coach, potentially officially announced as early as today. Although, late last night, early this morning, I thought it might go into next week before something official. Keep an eye out for this being official today. This is FACK, folks. We have a new offensive coordinator at the University of Michigan. Let me walk you through Jim McElwain's history. He spent the last 3 seasons at the University of Florida, 2 SEC East champions, but was fired mid-year after poor performance in the field and also a situation with potentially lying about some death threats. So all in, they just kind of threw their hands up, fired him mid-season. Now he is Michigan's offensive coordinator. Prior to that, spent a few years at Colorado State with some strong success. Prior to that, he was the offensive coordinator at Alabama, 2 national championships at Alabama under head coach Nick Saban. On to rumor number 2. Has Pep Hamilton been demoted? Well, it is looking pretty likely. I'm going to give this one a 3 Harbaugh heads. I don't have exact confirmation, and we also know that things can change. Things can be fluid in these situations. That Pep Hamilton, we told you last week, he got a promotion. He added wide receiver coach to the docket along with quarterbacks coach and passing game coordinator. Now they also called him wide receiver coach. But we're hearing that he's going to take a big step back in his responsibilities at Michigan. He will only be the quarterbacks coach heading forward. Now, there's a chance that could change. That's why we're not giving an FACK 4 Harbaugh heads, but look for Pep Hamilton to drop the wide receiver role. That's going to Jim McElwain, and the coordinator game of having 2, 3, 4 guys with coordinator roles in their titles on the Michigan staff. Those days seem to be over. Pep Hamilton will be the quarterback coach and quarterback coach only in 2018. All right, rumor number 3. Has Tim Drevno been promoted and demoted? Also with 3 Harbaugh heads. Anything can change, but we've been told Tim Drevno will kind of be like the head of operations for Michigan football, overseeing not just the offense, but also overseeing special teams, defense, a little bit of recruiting, a little bit of alumni relations, everything the head coach has to do. Tim Drevno will be right there, but taking a big step back on the offensive side. He's not going to call plays anymore, not really going to have his hand in the offensive philosophy at Michigan going forward. We're only focused on the offensive line, something I think Michigan drastically needs and desperately needs. Ed Warner, an analyst, former offensive coordinator at Ohio State, will be kind of his sidekick in that role. Potentially Warner moves into the offensive line role down the line if some of these rumors coming up come to fruition. So what are these 3 Harbaugh heads we talk about, folks? Let me walk you through the Chat Sports Jim Harbaugh believability scale, right? 0 Harbaugh heads, fake news, totally false. If you give it 1 Harbaugh head, small shred of truth, could come to fruition, but not really looking pretty likely. 2 Harbaugh heads, 50-50, people are talking, could go one way, could go the other, not really sure yet. If it's 3 Harbaugh heads, you've seen a couple of those already, pretty likely trend in this direction. Some people with sources have put this out there, or we've heard from our sources, and if we give it the 4 Harbaugh heads, folks, you can put it in the bank, FACK. That's how Jim Harbaugh spells it. That's how we spell it here at Chat Sports. My name is James Yoder. I am the king of Michigan football media. As you see above my head, Jim McElwain will be Michigan's new offensive coordinator. We're the only ones that come out last night and proclaim that it's going to happen. Some people were kind of tiptoeing around it, wouldn't come out with an official proclamation, but we were the first ones. Jim McElwain will be Michigan's new offensive coordinator. On to rumor number 4. What do we have here? Are Pep Hamilton and Tim Drevno still looking around? Well, we're giving this one a 3 Harbaugh heads because from what we've been told, Ed Warner, the former Ohio State offensive coordinator, last year he was the running game coordinator at Minnesota, is on Michigan's staff as an analyst, and people have been saying that it looks like he might become one of the coaches. With McElwain joining the fray, there's no room for him to be a coach, and what it leads us to kind of dig a little deeper is that Pep Hamilton and Tim Drevno, with all the coaching movement you're going to see over in college football over the next few weeks with this 10th coach adding, they're still going to be on the prowl for a coordinator role, potentially moving to the NFL, although that seems very unlikely. But I would say right now we're giving it 3 Harbaugh heads. It's 50-50 or so that both these guys will return to Michigan. Look for Drevno to look for an offensive coordinator role. Pep Hamilton is open to a lot of things, including potentially a head coaching job should one come available in the lower ranks, maybe a D2, maybe a non-Power 5 job in Division I. So we'll see what comes there, but keep an eye out for this. The situation is still very fluid. McElwain coming to Michigan might put some more dominoes kind of into action around Michigan football coaching. All right, on On to number 5. I heard this one this morning. Tim Drevno, the reason that Michigan brought on University of San Diego's offensive coordinator to Michigan to be an offensive analyst is so Tim Drevno could have a coordinator job. And I'm calling that one, folks, fake news. That is just too diabolical to even consider that Jim Harbaugh would be thinking that many chess pieces ahead to bring on a coach just so we can get his boy Tim Drevno a job. I'm calling this one very fake news. Unlikely that Tim Drevno would go down to that level of college football, not even a scholarship school, to just take an offensive coordinator job. Michigan's on the hook for him for over $1 million a year. Really doesn't make any sense at all. So I don't put any credibility behind this one. This one's making its ways around the Twitter spheres and some message boards. If you see it, just know that it is fake news. On to rumor number 6, folks. Let's take a look at this one. Ben McAdoo, one of the most disastrous head coaches in recent NFL history, he was actually interviewed for the Michigan offensive coordinator job. It's a for Harbaugh hat, F-A-C-K. I couldn't believe this one when I found out it was true. I kind of dismissed it as just hearsay, but this actually did happen. McAdoo was in Michigan last week, interviewed for the job, along with 4 other candidates. We've talked about guys like Cam Cameron, John Morton, and some others, but ultimately Jim McElwain put together the best resume and the best philosophy around what he could do with the Michigan personnel moving forward under head coach Jim Harbaugh. All right, that was rumor number 6. I am James Yoder, the king of Michigan football media. Want to just kind of point over my head. Breaking news, Jim McElwain is going to be Michigan's offensive coordinator. You heard it here first, and we were the only ones to give the proclamation of offensive coordinator last night. So stick with Chat Sports all week long around this story, what's going on, what's going to happen around Jim McElwain, Tim Drevno, Pep Hamilton, and the full Michigan coaching staff. We've got 3 more rumors for you. On to rumor number 7. Is a recruiting coordinator leaving Michigan for another job? Yes, he is. The man's name is Cooper Petagna. I'm pronouncing that a little rough, but 4 Harbaugh heads. So this isn't like the head of recruiting for Michigan. He's a recruiting coordinator. It means he's got a boss and his boss has got a boss. But he is actually taking a big promotion. He's going to be director of player personnel at the University of Washington. So speaks well to his work at the University of Michigan. Big ups to him, getting a promotion, a nice pay raise as well. He's head out to Washington. Michigan will look to bring on some more recruiting staff to backfill his role. Prior to Michigan, spent a while on the Alabama staff as well. So he's learned from Saban, he's learned from Harbaugh. We'll do some good things at Washington. All right, on to rumor number 8. Is the number 1 sophomore quarterback in Michigan hoping, or in the country, hoping for a Michigan offer and favoring Michigan? Well, I'm putting 2 Harbaugh heads on this one. I don't have a great source. This isn't a name I've been following too closely lately. So it's 50-50. People are talking, but the man's name is Jack Miller. He's a 16-year-old sophomore quarterback from just outside of Phoenix. Read a personal anecdote on a website that I frequent just yesterday. That the person who wrote it says, I work with Miller's dad. He's waiting for an offer. He really wants his son to go and play for Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, but they haven't offered yet. What's Michigan waiting for? So don't have a definite source on this one. It's out there. People are talking, but Jack Miller is a name you should know in the future. Number 1 quarterback out of Arizona. Number 1 quarterback in the country, I should say, out of Arizona. People are saying that his dad wants him to go play for Jim Harbaugh. We'll see if he gets an offer here in the future. All right, our last rumor today, Thursday, February 15th. Is Shea Patterson sitting in the upper deck at a Michigan basketball game? This is just absurd. Get the man some courtside seats. This is F-A-C-K. He's sitting in the upper deck. A fan posted this photo. I actually saw someone pointed out on Shay's Instagram story as well that he was posting photos from the upper deck, kind of not even good upper deck seats, way behind the hoop. So I'm not sure what's going on there in Michigan. I know that you can't give extra benefits, but you got to think you can get Shea Patterson a good student section seat. At least he's not sitting up in the upper deck, the nosebleed seats, as you call it, with these crazy fans. But got a cool picture of him right here, and that's what Shea Patterson, that's the life he's living right now. Once he's starting quarterback, I doubt he's going to be up in the upper deck. So that is the last one of our rumors today. Thursday, February 15th. I am James Yoder. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I made my Twitter account private, so just people I approve to follow me can get all the inside info on Michigan football. As you see above my head, Jim McElwain will be the new offensive coordinator. Look for an announcement potentially today, maybe tomorrow, to make that official, and then that's going to put all these other rumors into motion. Pep, Drevno, and some others. See what happens. We will see you back maybe tomorrow, but more likely next week. Again, my name is James Yoder, the king of Michigan football media. See you then.